Welcome to the Mob Vista From Zero to Hero series. Today's episode is all about product analytics. We'll explore the fundamental metrics that every developer should pay attention to and how they impact the success of your app or game. So thanks for joining me as we uncover the best practices in tracking, analyzing, and utilizing data to optimize your app's performance and growth. Creating a successful app or game requires more than just a great idea and innovative features. It demands a deep understanding of three core drivers of success. These are acquisition, engagement, and monetization. Acquisition refers to the process of bringing new users into your app. Now, this is a starting point where you're introducing potential users to your app's unique experience. Effective acquisition strategies are crucial for building a solid user base. The second pillar, engagement, is about capturing and retaining the interest of your users once you've acquired them. This area looks at how users interact with your app's features and content. High engagement indicates that your app is delivering value and fostering a loyal community, which increases your chances of success. And finally, monetization is the process of converting your app's value into revenue. This involves generating income through various channels, such as in-app purchases, subscriptions, advertisements, or other monetization methods. Evaluating and optimizing your app from these perspectives is vital for its long-term success and profitability. Now, developers like you need to navigate through a sea of data and metrics to make informed decisions in these areas. So in the next sections, I'll discuss key metrics for each pillar. So let's dive right in. The first crucial metric to consider is acquisition volume. This measures the number of new users who discover and download your app. Understanding new users helps you to gauge the effectiveness of your marketing efforts and user acquisition strategies. By analyzing the acquisition data, you can identify which channels and campaigns are driving the most downloads. This allows you to spend your precious marketing budget on what works best. But how do you know if your acquisition efforts are performing well? You can evaluate your success by comparing your metrics against industry benchmarks. Of course, when it comes to new users, the sky is the limit. However, it's important to remember that more doesn't always mean better. It can be helpful to compare your number of new users to returning users each day. A healthy benchmark ratio is typically around 30% new users to 70% returning. This shows that you have a healthy flow of new users coming into your app, while also showing that you've built and are maintaining a loyal user base. New users alone is not enough. It's equally important to ensure that your users keep coming back for more, and that brings us to our second key metric, retention. High retention rates indicate that your app or game captures the interest of users, leading to a loyal user base and increased monetization opportunities. To assess the performance of your retention, it's helpful to refer to industry benchmarks. On day one, a good benchmark is to aim for a retention rate of around 35 to 45%. This means that 35 to 45% of users who downloaded your app came back to use it one day later. For day 7, the benchmark retention rate should be around 12 to 20%. And further ahead at day 30 or 1 month later, benchmarks are 5 to 10%. And finally, on day 90, a benchmark retention rate of 2 to 6% is a good target. This indicates that you have a dedicated and engaged set of users. So now let's talk about LTV, or lifetime value. Lifetime value represents the total revenue generated by each user throughout their lifetime of engaging with your app. It's important to factor in all revenue sources into your LTV calculations and consider for yourself what a lifetime means in terms of your users. With LTV, you gain insight into the value of each user in your game in order to help maximize revenue and profitability. Benchmarks for LTV can vary depending on factors such as the type of app, your game genre, and your monetization model. However, the most critical factor is ensuring that your LTV is greater than your cost to acquire users. In order to have a sustainable business, aim for an LTV that ensures a profitable user base. Each of these three key metrics, new users, retention, and LTV, is just the beginning of your analysis. By considering some additional metrics, you can gain a more comprehensive understanding of your app or game's performance. And this understanding helps you to identify specific areas for making targeted adjustments. Let me give you some examples. To better understand your user acquisition efforts, it helps to assess the performance of different acquisition channels, campaigns, and individual ads. You want to narrow in on the ones that are bringing you the most quality users. The best way to look at this performance in an apples to apples way is to look at conversion rates. Conversion rates are the percent of users who take a desired action after interacting with an app. The specific action or conversion can be defined differently depending on the specific goals of the campaign. Now, installing your app or game is the most basic conversion, but conversion could also be a user making an in-app purchase, completing a level, or registering an account. Now, this is up to you to decide. If your conversion rates are not good for any ad creatives, you need to refine the targeting and messaging in them. You can tailor your marketing campaigns to specific user segments based on demographics, interests, or behavior patterns, and this helps you to deliver personalized messages to them. Always remember to highlight the unique selling points of your app or game in your advertising. Now, this leads to improved conversion rates and attracts more engaged users. And let's not forget about optimizing your App Store presence. Enhancing your app's visibility and discoverability within the app stores is also crucial. By optimizing your app's title, keywords, description, screenshots, and icons, pretty much everything, you can create a compelling store page that accurately describes your app and attracts potential users. Moving on to optimizing engagement. When you observe low retention numbers, one important adjustment is enhancing the first-time user experience. You need to carefully evaluate the onboarding process for your app or game and identify any drop-off points in the user journey. By making adjustments to these drop-off points, you can ensure a smooth and engaging experience from the moment users launch your app. When designing and making adjustments to a first-time user experience, focus on things like providing clear instructions, intuitive user interfaces, and interactive tutorials to help users get acquainted with your app quickly. For optimizing engagement in games specifically, tracking player progression and level difficulty allows you to optimize gameplay and provide a balanced and engaging experience. Examining your in-game economy helps you ensure fair and rewarding gameplay as well. The same concept applies to apps. You can use data to spot design and UI/UX issues, understand what content or features are most used, and where users are losing interest. All of this leads to improved retention. When it comes to monetization, consider analyzing the frequency of in-app purchases. Typically, more smaller purchases are better than infrequent but larger purchases when it comes to mobile games. Some opportunities to incentivize and prompt in-app purchases are offering limited time discounts, exclusive offers, or value-packed bundles. In games, balancing your economy to ensure that there is a certain level of scarcity can also support in-app purchases. I also encourage you to look at the distribution of revenue sources within your game, both on the in-app purchase and advertising side. This helps you to understand the contribution of each revenue source so you can prioritize your monetization strategies accordingly. Understanding what your users are spending money on can help you know how to adjust your pricing and what you offer. By experimenting with different price points, subscription tiers, and premium features, you can find the optimal pricing strategy that both maximizes revenue and provides value to users. Now, let's not forget that you can also optimize your ad monetization strategy. By experimenting with different ad formats, placements, and frequency, you can find the right balance between monetization and user experience. It's essential to monitor ad engagement and make adjustments to ensure that your ads are well integrated, relevant, and non-intrusive. I have one last point on analyzing your metrics. Consider analyzing everything by different user segments based on demographics, behaviors, or spending patterns. Now, this segmentation allows you to identify high-value groups of users and players. And with that understanding, you can tailor your acquisition, engagement, and monetization strategies to these segments to ensure that your app continues to resonate with them. Remember, when observing metrics below desired benchmarks, data can guide your decision-making. Continuous monitoring and analysis of your metrics, along with targeted adjustments and iterations, are key to optimization. It's an ongoing process. It requires a proactive approach, and a willingness to adapt and refine your strategies based on user feedback and market dynamics. Now, that wraps up our discussion on the importance of metrics and how making targeted adjustments can optimize acquisition, engagement, and monetization. Today, we have explored the fundamental metrics that every developer should pay attention to in the world of product analytics. Acquisition, engagement, and monetization are the three main pillars that shape the success of your app. And it doesn't stop there. By considering the key metrics and drivers behind these concepts, you can gain a comprehensive understanding of your app or game's performance and unlock its true potential by making targeted adjustments. Remember, insights from data analysis pave the way to app or game greatness. Game analytics is here to help you navigate the complex sea of data with ease, uncover valuable insights, and take your app to new heights. Thank you for joining us today.